down front. We swapped the mic, so hopefully that one works better for you and this one works okay for me. What about you, sir?
I just wanted to see, there's a lot of big name stars in the movie. How is it for you pretty much directing like your fellow actors and then to be in the movie with them on top of that?
Well, I liked being in there, and I wanted to play Smashley because she was my favorite character, like on the team. And I don't really relate to those people who are like, yeah, I know it's scary, but just go on in there and do it. And I'm just not a sideline person. So knowing what these people were going through and how they felt, you know, when a 200-pound derby girl is crashing at you at 60 miles an hour and rail checking you, and these girls are being like, you know, wheeled off in gurneys, and it's a really dangerous sport. You want to be able to be like, you know, not a sideline dictator, but more like, I'm in this with you, let's do this. So directing on wheels was certainly a challenge. The thing that I really care about after, you know, worrying about all the action and how you film the sports, and I love the sports element of this movie, is performance and emotionality. I, as a director, don't work from a monitor, and I don't want to be watching a movie while I'm making it. I actually stand right next to the camera, even if the space is this small, because your human eye can see something that's going on in a performance that through that piece of glass in the camera to then that weird wire mechanism into whatever monitor it's popping out of to show you. I believe in my heart that something gets lost in that translation. And this magical thing is unveiling itself right in front of you, and you should be there to watch it and to not only let it unfold and enhance it, but then also start to play with it and trust the people that you asked to do the movie. You must have wanted to do it with them for a reason. So what do they naturally bring? And then get in there and start to finesse and play and improvise, or get a line reading that you've had in your head for the last 8 months, even if it, you know, you can defy each other's instincts, you can play, you can disagree, you can agree, you can inspire each other to come up with new ideas. I used to love nothing more than saying, try it this way exactly on film, and like have that person like Andrew Wilson, who plays Coach Razor, imitated exactly back like that. And I'd be like, oh my God, that's awesome. Okay, no, surprise me. And he was just, I mean, the people in this movie were so talented that the tricks that they were constantly pulling out of their hats when I would say, please do one where I don't know what you're gonna do. Man, they all had great game, you know? It was like really impressive. I couldn't believe I got to work with the caliber of people that I did in this movie, but I feel like everyone was so right for who they were playing, and we just talked a lot about performance. It's important, it's everything.
Let's go. There I am. Let's go over here. Right here.
First time I've worn a skirt in like a year, and I think I realized why I don't like them.
This is the first time I've been in a movie theater when the house lights were on. It's very weird.
I know. It is weird.
What is your question?
Great movie, by the way. I love roller skating. I grew up roller skating, so it's pretty funny. I don't know if I'd get in a derby though.
It's scary, I have to admit. It's your brain is like, I should not be doing this, but something in your body, when you learn it, is like, I have to get out there and do it. It's very terrifying yet invigorating.
So critics say that actors become directors. Why?
Why do they?
Yeah, why? Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I don't know why for some actors, what their journey is or their intentions are. I just know for myself that, you know, at a certain point when you do something for 30 years, you kind of have like these moments of evolution where you realize you faced a certain amount of challenges and a certain amount of fears, and you just want to scare yourself again. And I was acting for, you know, almost 15, 20 years, and I started a production company, and I wanted to tell stories. I wanted to produce. I wanted to, you know, say, I want to do what boys do. I want to go kick butt in a Charlie's Angels movie. And those phone calls don't like magically ring in your apartment and be like, hi, do you want to do the coolest thing ever? And it's like, no, you have to go out there and make it happen for yourself. So, you know, and to have the ability to meet a guy like this guy, Richard Kelly, who has the script Donnie Darko, and no one will make it. And you're like, I'm going to fight for you to get this movie made because I think this story should be told. So I really became involved in how important storytelling is and filmmaking is. And then, you know, I wanted to go ask Adam, let's go do 50 First Dates, you know, and bring it on again and have fun and believe in love and be romantic, or, you know, whatever genre or variety is your sort of spice of life at that moment. And you work with all these interesting people, and I can't imagine not wanting to, at least for me. I know a lot of people just are very content being actors, and they don't want to be distracted with the other stuff, because it is a balancing act. You have to problem solve, you have to be rational, and you have to be emotional. It's so psychotic. But I just find that I constantly need to scare myself, take it higher, and create opportunities for myself where I know I'm not just coasting, where I'm genuinely terrified and gonna do my homework and do the best job I can. So that's why I always wanted to direct. So
Yeah,
slow
job.
and steady wins the race.
I'm gonna go to the very top. Anybody up here?
Hi, I work as a casting director, and I'm just curious, watching this movie, and I've never done anything as large scale as this, of course, but how did you had such talented girls on the roller team? How did you, what was the process of that, if you don't mind me asking?
Absolutely. I just think that I think that chemistry is really important. I think you have to know people's reputations going into casting, as in please don't put the bad apples in the bunch and poison the well for everyone else. Filmmaking can be a wildly pleasurable, although challenging experience. You just don't need to put any nasty people in there and add to it. So I think knowing who are good people out there, and then genuinely, for me, I sat down with everybody. I had a script where each page coincided with an image. I had a 25-minute clip reel that Omar and I and Brent and I worked at this amazing company, Flower Films, and you know, we just put our heads together and we went through every sort of musical and visual and film reference. And you know, I had pulled a Lucian Freud painting of a girl who looked miserable for a moment for Ellen's character. On the next page was William Eggleston, a photographer. I admire his work immensely, and it had this great sort of starkness. And then we looked at a lot of the old authentic punk rock imagery that just is hard to replicate because it was so freaking cool back then. And how do you make that authentic? So, you know, when I started talking to actors, I had been working on the script for a year. I had been excoriating out what I thought was modernisms. We took out every awesome, totally cool, you know, and even though I talk like Spicoli's girlfriend, I think I needed to make a film that was, you know, valiant and anachronistic in 20 years. I really knew what this film was, so I was able to take each actor through a very long journey, such as I'm answering this question. And I was like, here's the film. Here literally is the film I want to make, and here's how I'd like to collaborate with you. And it sparks a very unique dialogue, and it was awesome from there on out when everyone came on board.
All right.